All right, guys, if you own a Honda Fit or a lot of Honda from this year range, I want to say I've seen people having problems from like 2005 CR-V up to like 2016, 17 Ridgeline, I think something like that. But anyway, the problem that a lot of these cars encounter, let me see if I can get this to focus. There we go. The problem that I see a lot of these cars encounter, and the reason you're probably watching this video is because the locks continue to lock themselves as you're driving down the street. And I've seen people trying to chase up, switch actuators, all this stuff. Now listen, this is going to be a fix. It's not going to ruin anything. It's going to be a fix, but it's not the proper fix, but it will take care of it without you having to remove your door panel and do all this other nonsense. So check this out. So first thing you're gonna do is pull this panel off right here. It's on the driver's side door. As you can see, that comes off fairly easily. Next thing we're going to do is there's a plug right here, okay? So if you look, that plug right there, you're gonna take that out. There we go. I'm using this little pick here. So the reason I like to use things like this, I couldn't find the straight one. If I had the straight one, I'd use it. If you guys have taken door panels or even these little panels off before, we don't have to pull the door panel off. But if you've taken these little panels off before, it's really easy to break stuff or scratch things really bad with a large screwdriver. These get in there real nice. So just a little pro tip. The other thing is my hands won't fit in there. Probably a lot of yours won't fit in there either. And you have to depress this portion of the plug to remove it. So you're gonna push down on that, pull it out. Now when we get it out of here, you're looking for the red wire. So this one right here, it's gonna be second on this bottom piece. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pick and right here on this plug, you're going to pry it up a little bit. You're gonna lift this up. Then this red wire, so it's the second plug in, you're going to come here, you're going to stick your pick, or you can use a, what's the thing that holds the paper clips? Or a safety pin will work as well. And you're just going to push up on the little tab in there so that you can depin this. Now, if this grounds out, it's going to do the same thing. So what you want to do is you want to cover this in some black tape, which I'm going to do here in a second. I couldn't find black tape, so we're going to use red electrical tape. And like I said, we're just going to cover up this so it doesn't ground out on anything. You know, it's not a big deal. But the reason we're doing this is if we follow the wiring schematic, that is going to be the wire that triggers the automatic lock actuator, which I would imagine it's probably something in here, something in the door panel. I've seen people taking off the door panel and changing the lock actuator and all kinds of different stuff, and that actually not fixing the problem. However, we got this to fix the problem on another vehicle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push these back now. Those go right back into place, and I'm gonna plug this back in. So you're gonna have to snake this plug back in here. Obviously, if you got bigger hands, it's really tight, but once you get it back in there, I got it in there, you're just gonna plug it back in. Tuck that string in there tuck that pin in there, that piece of wire, that depinned pin back in there. So if you ever want to, you know, replace it at a later date, tuck it back in there like a tampon string. Okay. So you're gonna put this little tab in here first. That way everything lines up nicely. It's a pretty easy little panel to get back on there. Literally just pops on. Now, we're gonna test this. Come on in here. We're gonna test this to make sure, number one, that the key, oh, it won't lock because the door's on. Hold on, I'm gonna close the door. So the first thing we wanna do is make sure that the fob still works. So there's unlock, there's lock. The second thing we wanna do is we wanna make sure that the manual switches still work. So if you just keep an eye on that one right there, unlock, lock. Awesome. Okay, so those things check out. Now what we're trying to do here is, now the next thing we're going to do is check the ride test, right? Because that's what's happening, is that most of us are having this constant cycling of the lock, or random cycling of the locks. So here's the first test. If you notice, it did not lock. There we go. It locked by itself. And so far so good. Normally, at least in this vehicle, the lock was continually cycling. So every time it would lock when you put it into drive, and then as soon as you put it into drive, it started moving forward. Lock and lock and lock and lock over and over and over. And what you'd have to do, this is a trick for any of you who are currently having this problem, maybe don't have the time to fix it, is that you want to, sorry, I don't mess up on, is that you want to unlock it manually with your finger and then lock it back. You know, eventually if you keep doing that, it's going to strip the little gears in there and you get to replace the whole thing. So if you do this wire fix, because this has fixed it, normally this lock is cycling over and over. If you do this wire fix, you don't have to do that, and every single normal function of the car works. The fob works, the locks and the switches work, and it goes into lock when you go into drive. So that's a good fix for any of you who don't want to take your door panel all the way off, but want to fix this crazy Honda automatic locking going down the road over and over problem. Leave a comment if it worked for you.